Welcome to Winters Out West. Today we start a new Mount Rushmore series where we carve four faces into the mountains of greatness. Each episode explores the legends who shaped a genre, a movement, or a moment in time. This isn't just about popularity, it's about impact, innovation, legacy. Today we begin with the founding fathers of rock, the men who gave the genre its sound, its swagger, and its soul. Let's meet the four icons who earned their place in stone. Number one, Chuck Berry, the father of rock. Before there were rock stars, there was Chuck Berry. They called him the father of rock and roll, and he earned it with every riff, every lyric, every duck walk across the stage. Born in St. Louis in 1926, Berry grew up on blues, gospel, and swing, but what he created was something new, something electric. In 1955, Maybelline hit the airwaves like a lightning bolt. It was fast, raw, and full of teenage rebellion. Then came Roll Over Beethoven, School Days, and of course, Johnny B. Good, a song that would become the anthem of rock guitar. Barry's genius wasn't just in his playing, it was in his storytelling. He wrote about cars, girls, high school, and heartbreak, all with a wink and a swagger. His lyrics were clever, his rhythm was tight, his solos were unforgettable. And that duck walk, it wasn't just a move, it was a message. Rock isn't polite, it's not quiet, it's here to move you. Chuck Berry didn't just influence rock, he defined it. The Beatles covered him, the Rolling Stones idolized him, Springsteen studied him. Without Chuck, there's no blueprint, no sound, no soul. He was the first to plug in, turn up, and tear down the rules. And for that, his face is carved first into the mountain. Number two, Little Richard, the architect of rock. If Chuck Berry built the foundation, Little Richard designed the cathedral. They called him the architect of rock and roll, and when you hear him, you know why. Born Richard Penniman in Macon, Georgia, he grew up singing gospel and shouting the blues. But in 1955, he unleashed Tutti Frutti, and the world was never the same. A wop baba loo bop a lop bam boom. It wasn't just a lyric, it was a detonation. His voice was a cannonball. His piano playing was pure chaos. He didn't just perform, he erupted. Little Richard was loud, proud, and unapologetically flamboyant. In an era of conformity, he was a firework. He wore makeup, screamed into the mic, and kicked over his piano bench. He didn't ask for permission, he demanded attention, and he got it. James Brown called him his idol. Prince called him his blueprint. The Beatles opened for him. Bowie borrowed his glam. Jimi Hendrix played in his band. But Little Richard didn't just influence music, he challenged culture. He broke racial barriers, gender norms, and sound limits. He made it okay to be different and to be loud about it. He once said, I'm the originator, I am the emancipator, I am the architect. And he was right. His face belongs on the mountain, not for just what he built, but for how he built it, with fire, flair, and a scream that still echoes throughout rock history. Number three, Elvis Presley, the king of rock. Elvis Presley didn't invent rock and roll, but he made it a revolution. They called him the king of rock and roll, and his crown was earned in sweat, swagger, and sound. Born in Tupelo, Mississippi, raised in Memphis, Elvis soaked up gospel, blues, and country. In 1954, he walked into Sun Records and recorded That's All Right. The world tilted on its axis. He had the voice, smooth, sultry, explosive. He had the moves, hips that made headlines. And he had the look, a rebel in rhinestones. Songs like Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, and Jailhouse Rock weren't just hits, they were cultural earthquakes. Elvis brought black music to white audiences, and in doing so, he changed everything. He was loved, he was hated, he was imitated, but he was never ignored. Elvis made rock mainstream. He made it dangerous. He made it sexy. And through it all, he stayed true to the music. He never stopped singing gospel. He never stopped honoring his roots. His influence is everywhere, from Bruce Springsteen to Bruno Mars, from Vegas to TikTok. He's not just a king, he's a cornerstone. And that's why his face is carved into the mountain, not for just what he sang, but for what he sparked. Number 4, Buddy Holly, the pioneer of the band. Buddy Holly was the quiet genius. No duck walk, no glitter, no pelvis. Just thick glasses, a Fender Strat, and a vision that changed everything. Born in Lubbock, Texas, Buddy fused country, R&B, and pop into something new, something clean, catchy, and deeply human. In 1957, That'll Be the Day hit the charts. Then came Peggy Sue, Every Day, and Ray Vaughan. But Buddy Holly's real revolution wasn't just in the songs, it was in the structure. He wrote his own music. He fronted his own band. He produced his own sound. Before Buddy, rock stars were singers. After Buddy, they were singer-songwriters. He showed the Beatles how to be a band. He showed Dylan how to write. He showed the world that rock can be smart, sincere, and self-made. And then he was gone. A plane crash in 1959. He was just 22. But his legacy, it never stopped flying. Don McLean called it the day the music died. But really, it was the day the music became immortal. Buddy Holly's face belongs on the mountain, not for just how long he played, but for how deeply he changed the game. 4 faces, 4 legacies. Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly. The father, the architect, the king, the pioneer. Together, they built the mountain. And this is just the beginning. Next time on Mount Rushmore, we carve the legends of country, or soul, or punk, or guitarist. Stay tuned. Subscribe, comment, and join the climb.